Tell us why you need to accelerate. Why don't you just sit back and enjoy your time in college?
To be honest with you, it's in my blood. Abundant places to really grow myself professionally, academically, and personally.
Periods of uncertainty, both when you are anticipating coming to NJIT and once you've been here.
I can really take myself back into the shoes of being a high school senior is when I really first felt that.
You obviously have established a track for yourself early on. So has there been any pushback or uncertainty about that track?
It's a butterfly effect.
Young age, you have chosen to take on leadership roles.
So just to give you an itemized list, I'm the vice president of the Martin Tuckman School of Management Dean's Council.
You probably didn't come in like a barrel.
I remember my parents came and dropped me off. What next? What do I do? You should follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Follow your dreams. Everybody has this sort of cliche piece of advice.
Hi, I'm Suzanne Ishii, Director of the NJIT Hub for Creative Placemaking and Film and Television Workforce Development. It is my pleasure to welcome you today to this inaugural podcast of NJIT and the Martin Tuckman School of Management. Our podcast title is, Oof, I'm in college. What's next? With each new episode of this podcast, I'll be interviewing one of our students, current student, a graduate student, an alumni from one of our various programs. It could be our undergraduate program, our graduate program, our certificate programs, or our professional development programs. And we'll talk about successes and experiences, things beyond the classroom, like our friendships. And with each episode, we'll have a key takeaway. Today's key takeaway is positive uncertainty, and I am thrilled to welcome one of our fabulous current students, Joseph Ras, who's going to tell you all about his experiences here with our focus on positive uncertainty. Welcome, Joseph.
Suzanne, thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone. My name is Joseph Ras. I'm a financial technology student here in the Martin Tuckman School of Management, and I'm an Albert Dorman Honors Scholar here at NJIT.
Well, he's already an overachiever. So, Joe, tell us a little bit more about where you are in your course of study. We understand what you're working on and what school you're in, but how old are you? And how fast are you moving here?
Absolutely, yeah. So I'm 19 years old. I'm a second-year financial technology student, and I'm currently on track to get my bachelor's in science at the end of my third year and my MBA in tech at the end of my fourth.
Yikes. So you're accelerating all kinds of fastness. Tell us why you need to accelerate. Why don't you just sit back and enjoy your time in college?
To be honest with you, it's in my blood. You know, this is how I was raised. I have a sister who's 3 years older than me, who's currently studying to be a dermatologist at the Rowan School of Osteopathic Medicine. She's doing great. I really give all the credit to my parents because that was the environment that I was really poised to be this type of student in. And I graduated from the Marlborough High School Business Administration Magnet Program. And NJIT, of the 20-something colleges that I did apply to, really stood out as one of the most abundant places to really grow myself professionally, academically, and personally. So
Why abundant? Where's the abundance?
everywhere you look, every single person that's here is here for a reason, and it's to help you and it's to help grow the environment for all students to prosper. And I've noticed that myself. I'm very much so involved in the Martin Tuckman School of Management. Even being on this inaugural podcast today is an example. I work very closely with the Martin Tuckman School of Management Dean, Oya Tukel, and the opportunities that I've been presented with, whether it's in classes by professors or administrators or even people that I'm just walking with to class. I mean, it's everywhere around you, and that's why I love NJIT.
Okay, so Joe, now let's walk this back just a second, because certainly you must have faced some periods of uncertainty, both when you were anticipating coming to NJIT and once you've been here. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So, to be honest with you, I can really take myself back into the shoes of being a high school senior is when I really first felt that. Taking 6 APs, I felt like the whole world was just a cloud around me, and I had no clue where I was going. And to be honest with you, that really translates into present day as well. I think that's the beauty of it, because there have been so many opportunities, so many chances for me to better myself and to take steps to really progress towards where I want to be in life. And in high school, I found that everybody would tell me something different. Whether I was at home, at school, with friends, it was go to this college, take these classes, do this and that. This will make you the best applicant, the best candidate. And there's really no right answer. You know, I'm sure I could take as many paths as there were options for me, and I would have landed in a different place. And I love where I am right now. I think the guidance that surrounded me was very positive, but at the same time, there's this large question mark, right? Especially putting yourself at a massive crossroad, like a high school senior. What do I do? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to spend my time? Who do I want to surround myself with? So these are all major questions that I would assume every student who's really looking to progress themselves academically and attend a college has. And looking at my options, it's all different. You know, there were so many different options for me in terms of where to attend, how far I wanted to be from home, and what course I wanted to take. You know, financial technology was one of so many options on just a list. And I found myself, even though it was just selecting a button, I was making this choice for myself for the next 4 years and beyond. This is what I was studying, and this is what I wanted to do. So it's a massive decision that they really lie on these students' shoulders. And I thinking back to it now, you really only realize the weight of it when you're in retrospect.
So many people don't even choose their majors until they're about their junior year or
Yes.
senior year, but you obviously have established a track for yourself early on. So has there been any pushback or uncertainty about that track since you started out on it?
The uncertainty that comes is really just not knowing what's next in just about every aspect. So there's sort of this scramble that's programmed into all college students of get an internship, get involved in your field, make sure you're going to office hours and being as established as you can in your classes. Make sure your professors know your name and what you do. They should know you on a first name basis. That's the standard, at least from how I grew up. And that uncertainty really comes from trying your best and not knowing if it's putting you in the best position. You know, there's constantly this competition, whether it's out in the real world or mentally. And I find myself often battling that competition more so mentally than I am physically. But it's almost complicated in a chess sense because there are so many options I could take. And directly, there's not necessarily one totally correct answer because it's a butterfly effect of if I were to make this decision, then there's 10 more doors that open up right in front of me. So the uncertainty comes from making these decisions, small and large, on a day-to-day basis as a college student living on campus. Whether I want to go and have breakfast that day, can decide if I do well on a test or maybe not up to my expectations. Being positive and just having these conversations with people in passing has really helped to establish my positive mood for the day. I noticed that somebody who embraces their environment, especially at a vibrant campus like NJIT, is able to seize the day more and really just take advantage of their opportunities. So that uncertainty comes with every challenge and every door that's faced. And I think it's really supposed to be just something you embrace, because if you shy away from those opportunities and those challenges, oftentimes some of the most fruitful things and some of the greatest things that you're really searching for in life come from the things that you fear the most.
This is really good information for anybody who's on their way into college, and a great attitude to adopt, I think, when you're on your way. So I know, I happen to know that you lead many different organizations. Even at your young age, you have chosen to take on leadership roles. Talk to us a little bit about that. You know, what value are you bringing with your whole self as you engage in these leadership? Tell us what kind of activities and clubs or whatever you're leading.
Sure. So just to give you an itemized list, I'm the vice president of the Martin Tuckman School of Management Dean's Council. I'm the financial technology representative in the NJIT Student Senate, so student body government. I'm the vice president of the NJIT Salesforce Club, and I also work in the Martin Tuckman School of Management office. So there's a lot that goes on a day-to-day basis, and to be honest with you, my calendar usually looks something like Lego blocks stacked on top of each other. But that's how I love to function. I love to run that way, and everything that I do has a purpose. My main job when it comes to working with administrators is bridging the gap between students and faculty or students and field professionals. So, for example, in the Dean's Council, we've had the opportunity to reach out to many business representatives, so senior talent acquisition at high-status businesses, places where students would love to work and maybe just don't necessarily have that like that foot in the door. And sometimes it takes a little bit more than a resume, just a piece of paper. So inviting these people over and letting them see this vibrant campus, these students who are driven, ready to learn, and just ready to be sponges in any environment possible. That's the type of environment that we try to create for these students and to the people that do visit.
You're obviously a person with a great deal of confidence. But when you were starting out, I'm going to go back to that uncertainty. You probably didn't come in like a barrel and a shot straight out of a cannon. For anybody who is on their way or will be a new student even this coming semester, perhaps. Can you address some of those uncertainties a little bit and how you were able to overcome them?
100%.
Right.
I remember my parents came and dropped me off. I had my bins full of clothes, way overpacked, sort of the rite of passage of every freshman college student. And as soon as they left, as soon as that door closed, I just sat there. And it was that question of what next? What do I do? This is a foreign environment to me. Everything has been totally untapped. I have zero connections. I'm an alien. I've been dropped off in this place where I know this will provide some value to me. It's just I don't know. There's that big question mark again, the what next. What I would recommend to every individual who's looking to either be a college student or is an incoming college student or is just considering college in general is really just take a step back, breathe, assess your surroundings and your resources, and take it from there. There's a lot of opportunities, but there's a lot of ways to waste your time as well. And as much as it seems like you have so much time here at NJIT or at any college, it's short. So you need to take as much opportunity as you can and just really be a consumer as a student, as a professional, as somebody who's looking to grow. Having that growth mentality is the number one reason. It's the divergence. It's that real split between students that come and get grades and get a piece of paper, essentially, and somebody who comes and truly gets a degree. Somebody who takes something out of a college, something intangible that they could take to the table and say, I have these experiences, but this is what I also took away. These were things that were outside of my classroom. I was able to make these connections. I was able to talk to people I've never seen before or seen once in the dining hall just passing by. You never know what comes to you. You know, there's this beauty. If you were to ask me where I would be in 10 years from now.
I was about to do that.
I just read your mind. The funny thing is, I probably can't even tell you where I'll be in a year because that's exactly how I've functioned this entire time at NJIT. And that's what's brought me to this point. You know, I would treat every single day as if it would be the exact opposite of yesterday. And I think by having this open mind, by understanding that today will give me something totally different in the real world, on campus at NJIT, off campus doing just about whatever you're involved in, it will be something different. And you have to embrace that. Somebody who just hides behind this philosophy that every day will be the exact same. I'll wake up at the exact same time, go get the exact same grades. It won't be like that. This is supposed to prepare you for the real world, and the real world will throw you things that you would never expect. So I think the thing that I'm doing right and the things that I can improve on all sort of focus around this idea of taking every day one step at a time, breathing, understanding my challenges, understanding my opportunities, and just assessing things piece by piece. Because there are a lot of people that try to boil the ocean, when in reality, you just need to take things one moment at a time.
Wow. This is all such great advice, Joe, and so delightful to hear from you. So the takeaway I have for the positive uncertainty is to take each moment and each day as a new opportunity, as a new challenge, and move forward. Do you want to expand or encapsulate that a little bit more before we sign off?
Absolutely. So there's a really famous quote that I've heard thrown around in so many different variations in my life, and it's that you should follow your dreams, follow your dreams, follow your dreams. Everybody has this sort of cliche piece of advice. And initially, I took that with a grain of salt, and now I sort of carry that with me every day in my own variation. And it's to follow your opportunities and let your dreams tag along. I think that oftentimes so many people sit on their hands and expect these opportunities to come straight up to their faces and stare them in the eyes. And in reality, that's not the case. So even though we are in an environment where there are so many chances for me to better myself, to grow physically, mentally, emotionally, professionally, you need to go out and get them. So as much as your dreams can be strong and powerful and impactful and really define your morals and everything that is about you, sometimes you need to understand that the things that you have in your life need to be taken. They won't present themselves to you on a silver platter. So there's so many areas for growth. There's so many resources, whether it's people or things or these ideas that are constantly just spread like confetti around campus. And I wouldn't have it any other way. So the same way that I've involved myself, and I feel like I'm taking advantage of my time here at NJIT and professionally trying to develop myself, I know there's room for growth. I know there's opportunity for better, and I'm prepared to take it. And I hope that every other student can have that same mentality.
Well, there you have it, folks. Follow your opportunities, and your dreams will come along. Joseph Ras, we thank you so much for being our first guest, and we thank you all very much for joining us. Stay tuned for our next podcast. You can follow us on all social media at .educast. Got that? .educast. We'll see you then.